All right, good evening, everybody. I'm calling this special meeting of the Board of Trustees together to order at November 3rd, 2025 at approximately 7:10 p.m. I apologize for the delay in starting this meeting. We're having some technical difficulties. For our audience out there, we did have a presentation planned with slides to be presented, but those technical difficulties are going to not allow us to show it here live tonight. But the slideshow presentation will be linked to the YouTube video for your reference for a later time once that YouTube video is uploaded. So we will take a roll call to order, please. Clerk Laukent.
Trustee Alfano.
Here.
Trustee Cordova. Here. Trustee Constados.
Here.
Trustee Kozar is not here. Trustee Kumar.
Here.
Trustee Sabri.
Here.
President Patrick.
Okay. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. I would like to make a motion to remove item 8A from the agenda until a later date. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Constados. Okay. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, we can do a voice vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, okay, we are going to remove item 8A from tonight's agenda. So we are going to go ahead and move forward with public comments on agenda items. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on public comments under agenda items?
Yes, we have Joe Amore.
Okay.
Good evening. Joe Amore, 309 East Maple Street. On the agenda item for considering the donation for the 501c3 for the York Township Food Pantry, I want to applaud the village and the board for taking this into consideration in this time of great need. I have been, after being elected as a township trustee last April, I volunteered multiple days weekly in the pantry, and I can assure you the need is there. The need is great, and it increases on day to day. And I applaud the village for taking the lead on this very, very thoughtful initiative. And I thank you once again.
Thank you, Joe. Is there anybody else in the public that would like to speak on comments on agenda items?
Cheryl Tucker.
Cheryl Tucker.
I'm just here on a concern factor. I know there's a real need for the York Township Food Pantry. I realize that. And the people of Vale Park are very generous. And I know they're looking for the ways of helping, but could we also, when you're taking in consideration, figure out a way on the site where the people will be notified of how they could personally give funds to the Friends of York Township? Where my concern is that you, on the meeting on the 20th, you went through and you voted on a 5-year audit from Baker and Tilly for $1,000 to $1,500 because you didn't know where all the funds were in this village, and you needed to do that to figure out in the last 5 years where all the funds went. I'm concerned right now, do you really know the $5,000 that you're proposing to donate in the general fund, that we have it budgeted with the budgeting coming up? Can we really afford that or more going forward? I'm just a little concerned. It's very important that this fund goes through. I'm not saying it's not a good cause and that we don't have a lot of causes that are going to come up that we need to do it. I'm just asking the board to take into consideration when they think about donating $5,000 of our tax money to make sure that there aren't other things in the village that are needed for it, and that there is the funds there, and that you're not going to be scraping around trying to figure out where it's going, because Obviously, as economy gets closer and closer to Christmas and Thanksgiving, there are going to be more needs in this village of people needing things, people needing their water bills paid, heating costs. Other things are going to come up to this budget, plus the food pantry, even whatever you donate here, if other towns or villages don't back us up, we may be having a crisis to have to donate more. So please take into consideration where you're making these decisions from, that you're not going to be taking away from other things that the people in Villa Park need with our tax dollars. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you, Cheryl. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak under public comments on agenda items?
We have nobody.
Okay, we're going to move along to public comments on non-agenda items. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on non-agenda items?
We have nobody.
Okay, we are going to move forward with the presentation from York Township Supervisor Tim Murray. And again, for all of you watching at home, we had some technical difficulties with our projector. The slideshow will be linked to the YouTube video once it's posted after this meeting. Tim, you've got the floor.
Thank you, President Patrick. Thank you, Board, for inviting me to this presentation. What we have in this country right now is what I kind of classified as the perfect storm. Just like we just saw in the news, Hurricane Melissa sitting over Jamaica for hours, days. That is what we're looking at right now. And we're looking at that in a couple of different ways. One, because of the shutdown, the furlough of employees, now we are at 4 weeks. And there really is no end in sight to the federal government getting together to get the country open. The other is the SNAP benefits, which we've seen in the news that it has ended as of November 1st. It is ended. And although there may be some news that's saying that it might come back, it might not, we just don't know. And that's what a perfect storm's all about. It's going to sit here and just multiply and get worse as the days go forward. And then third, our economic kind of factors of the holiday season coming, a stagnant job market out there, and then really to our community and every food pantry that I've talked to, they are struggling with their inventories. Our inventory at the township is rather low. You'll see in the pictures in your slides, number 2 and number 3, the first slide is our non-perishable items, where you see wire racks that are just about empty. The second picture, page 3 there on your slides, that's our reach-in freezer and our walk-in freezer and our walk-in refrigerators empty. And that is because we've seen a huge increase, a 70% increase since within the past 10 days because of SNAP ending and because of the furloughs. The next thing is, where do we go and how long it's going to take? Congressman Caston had a roundtable meeting with all the food pantries in the DuPage County area, and really his notion is this is going to take some time. The last federal shutdown that he was involved in, elected officials were in Washington, D.C., and they were working behind the scenes. He's saying that's not happening now. So when the question was raised, will this happen, will it come together before Thanksgiving? There wasn't really a lot of optimism there. So, in my opinion, as I plan, I have to look at Christmas. I have to look at this lasting until Christmas. As you look at that, also, you've got to look at the big, beautiful bill that was passed. And what that means, what that really means to us when we're looking at this situation is that as soon as the federal government opens, then the timeline starts ticking 3 months later that SNAP benefits will be reduced by 25%. What I mean is that your typical participant in SNAP, that number will be reduced by 25% because the qualifications, the administrative qualifications for SNAP recipient is changing. And they say 25% of SNAP recipients will be cut out of the system immediately 3 months after the federal government opens. So that's our second kind of storm coming towards us. And then really to put this in perspective, I've looked at a lot of numbers, talked to a lot of people, and the Northern Illinois Food Bank gave me a key factor. And what they said is that for every one meal that a food pantry provides, SNAP provides 9 meals. So the impact of that is times 9. That's what we're looking at. So if it's left up to us as the local government, the local community, that is what we're going to be looking at for the amount of meals that we will have to provide for if SNAP is not around. Is SNAP around for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months? We just don't know. Then to bring it to perspective of the York Township Food Pantry, one, I want to let you folks know that we're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, for people to come in. It's a client choice food pantry, meaning that the clients get to choose what they want to put in their bags. We don't just give them a prepackaged box with something. They choose what they need. So if they need a heavy amount of protein that day and there's tuna fish on the shelf, they're grabbing as much tuna fish as they can to put into the 2 bags that they're given. And that's how we allow for everybody to get their fair shares, that every client receives a couple of bags and they could fill it with whatever they want. Plus, what they get is milk, butter, eggs, some kind of meat, whether it's pork, chicken, beef, 2 to 4 pounds I put down, bread, produce, and then non-perishables. That is what the York Township Food Pantry strives to give a person when they walk through the door. And that equates to about 50 pounds of product. 43 meals. I really kind of strive to work out that math, and that's taken from a USDA standard that it takes 1.25 pounds of product to produce a meal. So 43 meals from one visit to the York Food Pantry that a participant would receive. Next slide that I gave you is just really to put into perspective where SNAP participants are in the township. And the township encompasses Elmhurst, Oakbrook Terrace, Lombard, here in Villa Park, and in 4 other minor municipalities. It touches on Glen Ellen, it touches on Hinsdale, touches on a couple of other municipalities as well. But the other factor that you really have to kind of consider when you're looking at this is a SNAP participant, they don't just represent one person. On average, that SNAP participant is feeding 3 people. So when we look at that in York Township, the rough number that I have is about 3,000 people in York Township are SNAP participants. But if you multiply that by 3, we're quickly at 9,000 people that need a ton of food if SNAP does not kick back into action. What I want to also point out to you is that unlike this board, the township's real responsibility is to be the manager of the poor. Very humbling to me, but I've spent just about every day working on the food pantry, working on general assistance and emergency assistance, and those are programs that when people come to the township and they have no 401k. They have nothing left in their bank account. They're able to receive dollars from us. There's actual funding for people. People that was mentioned a little while ago about worrying about your utility bills. We have a system for that that's in place at the township. So there are other social programs at the township that will address those needs for people as well. I just want to touch on our infrastructure for just a little bit. The staff and the volunteers at the township, they're trained, they're designed to feed the people that walk through the door, and to do that with dignity. And that's really important when you're talking about food insecure people. The dignity of what we do on a daily basis, making an Klein Choice food pantry, being able to speak to somebody, look them in the eyes, and see what need that they need, what need they have, and being able to address that is very important, and to do that with dignity. And that's what we do at the township. Everybody's treated with the utmost respect, and it's funny because when I walk through the door every day, there's a long hallway to get into the administrative offices. It is lined with food pantry people in the morning. And just to say good morning to them is a great thing. I want to touch a little bit on the fact that we do have the power to be behind the pantry through the fact that we have equipment. We've got a forklift, we've got a truck, we've got a van, we've got a walk-in refrigerator, a walk-in freezer. We've got the structure in place, the system in place. Now, when I say that, I'm a little bit scared because when you're looking at one meal that we provide today, to then look at 9 meals as we were talking about earlier, that's a tall task. But we are ready for it, and one of the main reasons why I'm here tonight is for your support in doing that. Not only your monetary support, but your manpower. We need help. That is a very important aspect of the different municipalities participating with what the township is able to do. Talking about the need, touched on that monetary aspect, also rallying your constituents, your residents, to be behind this. One of the eye-opening experiences I had at being the supervisor at the township is that a lot of people don't know what the township does. And we're here to help our neighbors. We're here to help everybody within the township, whether it's the food pantry, whether it's emergency assistance, somebody that for some reason lost their job and cannot pay that mortgage or that rent. A general assistance, and that's really a person that has absolutely no money at all, to our seniors and to our youth. That's really where the township and the supervisor's office functions and supports those areas. So you guys have the ability through your collective leadership to not only help from the standpoint of the village itself, but also to mobilize and rally the residents to help. Helping in a monetary way, helping through a food drive, and helping as volunteers. So at this point, it's really the only time that I need an AV is really to show these barcodes, because for the folks that are at home, for anybody else, to hover over that and to be able to sign up and be a volunteer, to sign up for Friends of York Township through Zelle. It's there for you. You could go on the York Township website and navigate through that to find whatever you want to do. And then finally, I'll touch on just a little bit of happiness. We're right upon the holidays. And guess what the township does for the holidays? We adopt families. We're looking for people to come in and take a family of 4, a family of 6, and just buy the presents for that family. We've done the work of qualifying that family, making sure that they're in a need for this, and then secondly, a actual toy drive for other families, so that a mom, a dad could come into a room just like this and walk around and say, "Hey, my son would like that, my daughter would like that," and they get to pick out the toys that they want to give their children for Christmas, for the holidays. So I wanted to leave you guys on a little bit of a nice note, but still the same. It's a need that exists in our township and in Villa Park. At this point, any questions? Yes.
Yeah.
About the SNAP participation, I get the percentages, but who walks in general? Is it kind of, does it mirror the same percentages who walks into York Township? Is it from Villa Park, equally Lombard, or you don't actually know who walks in?
I don't have that information offhand. We don't really keep that information because our job at the township is there's 2 considerations that we make. One, verifying that the person walking through the door is a resident of the township, and then we just ask. We don't verify. We just ask if they are below a certain financial threshold, what they make in a month.
Trustee Constados.
Thank you. Is there other items that families can come in to get, like hygiene items?
Yes. The pantry includes adult diapers, other hygiene items, and those are stocked upon what is donated and sometimes what I can procure through the Northern Illinois Food Bank.
So we can donate like shampoos and soaps and
Correct.
whatnot as well?
Correct.
Okay. I think that this is wonderful. Just really quickly, if I may, this hits home to me. During my divorce, my youngest is 26 years old now, but when my kids were younger and I was going through my divorce, it was not a very nice situation. And you said the room where people can go in and choose gifts for their kids for Christmas. I was in that room. I was in that room choosing gifts for my kids because of my situation. And I think that when you go through a situation like that yourself, you try to figure out any way that you can help out as well once you recover from that. And I apologize for,
Thank you.
It hits hard for me. So I'm all for this and doing whatever I can and trying to get other people to do whatever I can help with to help others out, because I've been in that position before, and it's a hard position to be in, to walk into a room knowing that you're picking something out that somebody else bought for your kids, and you're trying to not pick something that's too expensive or something, you know. Same with food, you know, you're walking in and you're trying to just pick a couple things because you're embarrassed, you know, it's embarrassing for you. Being an adult and having kids, and especially your thing is to take care of them, right? So I think this is a wonderful thing you guys are doing, and I will definitely reach out to businesses around me and people that I know to see if I can get other further contributions for it. And, you know, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
And I think that brings up another good point, too, is that there might be people that have a need, but there might be somebody that in their day-to-day life encounters a situation where they are now the person in need, and that the township is there for anybody that is in need of these services as well, and that's what we're here for. Is there any other questions? Trustee Sabri?
First of all, Supervisor Tim Murray, please, thank you for bringing to our attention. This is a sad time.
Yeah. It is.
I don't have the heart to tell you that we are living in one of the best country in the world, and we reach out to other countries to dispense this type of a help. And we are looking for, now we're going within towns to ask for help. It's a sad time.
It is.
I don't know when the officials, when the government is going to wake up, but it's a high time for them. To answer your question, Trustee Kumar, slide 8 basically tells you the SNAP participation by the area. And if you look at that slide, that it clearly shows that 12% of the residents are coming from Villa Park to your facility, sir. By saying that, the reason being is not to your facility yet.
Correct. There you go.
Yes. Yeah, I just went a little over.
Right.
I mean, trend shows that the program is not there right now, and where those people are going to go. So obviously, they're going to end up someplace.
Yes, they are.
And again, I think, appreciate you coming out and letting us know.
Yeah.
We definitely need to do something. Again, it's a sad time for this country, and it's a sad time that we have to come up and ask for, facilitate our resident so they can have a meal on their table.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the things that I'm going to say really quick, Tim, before we move into the next business item here, is that I know that we didn't have the slides available for people to look at the QR codes and what have you. One of the things that we're planning on doing as a municipality, myself and Deputy Village President Carrie Alfano have been talking about our community outreach, and I believe that this will answer one of our residents' questions out there about how will people know about this. We will be sharing these slides with this video, but also our social media campaign and our outreach campaign are also going to share those slides, especially the ones for the Friends of York Township, the Zelle, where people could make a monetary donation themselves right from their cell phone. One of the things that I'm going to personally work on myself is outreach to other elected officials, other municipalities, as well as other organizations in the town. And if that means if I have to hit the sidewalk myself, I will do that. Deputy Village President Alfano is also going to be spearheading our attempts at the food drive donation part of that as well.
Thank you.
So for everybody that is out watching right now, after this meeting, please stay tuned. More information will be coming out on ways that you'll be able to donate and help contribute to this potential crisis that we have going on right now. Trustee Alfano.
Thank you. So, Supervisor Murray, first of all, thank you. I want to truly thank you for coming and telling us what our township does for us. I think that in speaking to residents, that's one of the confusions. And knowing what the township actually is there to help us for as residents and as electeds certainly does help. And I really do want you to extend that to all of the staff that works. I know that this is it's not an easy job to do when you are seeing people day in and day out who are in need. And when you are in public service, it definitely, you have a feeling of pride, but you also then it does take its toll on you. You do get a sense of there is a need out there, and you see a different side of life that sometimes you don't always see. So I want to thank you for that, and please extend that gratitude to everybody that's working
I will.
at the
Thank you.
township. And thank you for coming and explaining about the SNAP participation in particular. I'm somebody that likes to be proactive than reactive. President Patrick and I have had for weeks conversations about what is going to happen when SNAP disappears, because we know that it was coming. We just didn't know when, and I'm hopeful that something would have happened, and that people just can't be this cruel, and here we are. So we do, as local leaders, we do get the opportunity to try to solve those problems locally, and it's like a double-edged sword, right? We
Right.
do get to solve those problems, but we do have to deal with those problems at the same time. Thank you for partnering with us to help
welcome.
solve those problems.
Does the board have any questions? Not necessarily comments, but questions for Tim, because we can hold our comments until the next section of the agenda. Trustee Kumar.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions about, so you said you've already shared the toy drive and the other drive, and as a village, I'm hoping that we get together to plan. What other villages have you talked to? Because it looks like there's 5 of them or 6 of them. Are we the first? Are we talking to many of the villages on solving this problem? Because I think it's the SNAP issue is not a small one. It's a very large issue, and it's not just the village of Villa Park, but you see Lombard, you see Oak Brook Terrace, much richer communities around us who have better resources, should be all flowing at the same time. And is there some way to facilitate maybe a coalition to work on this problem rather than a single-edged support system? Because I think legally we would be donating to the 501c3, which
Correct.
is Friends of York Township, and there are some restrictions, I know, with that donative coming straight in a cash form. We might have to think outside of the box and write a contract and do things with that, as far as I know. So that is something that we need to address, but that's not actually having to do with you. That's something we can deal with as a board. But how can we what have you done to reach out to other communities that we can also
Sure.
join together with and try to work this problem out in a better way than just as a single-handed, one-shot deal?
One of the things I'd like to say before you answer the question, if you don't mind, Tim, is that we were one of the first municipalities that they reached out to. And being that this is such an emergency, and I will call it an emergency for that matter, is that we are taking action by having this special meeting only days after talking with Tim. It's our hope that as a local municipality, we can lead by example. This is going to be the spark that helps create some of those conversations that we are going to be having that I just talked about as well, and I'm sure that Tim will be doing that as well. Your concerns about the donation, we're fine. This has already been cleared with legal. We can make this donation that way to a 501c3. But your point about this not just being a Villa Park issue, you're absolutely correct. But preparedness in an emergency is essential. And we are preparing our residents for this right now. And though, yes, the township does share with other municipalities, is that they also will be taking on some of this burden if they choose. But we are doing our due diligence as leaders in this community to set up Villa Park so that way we have options. And the time to strike is now, not when the crisis is hitting us in Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's now to be prepared. One of the things that we always used to say in the military is better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? But the monetary donation that we do make to this will be benefiting at least part of that 12% there as well. And what we're hoping to do is not only to empower them by having a monetary donation so that way they could purchase these, but we're also making a campaign effort, an effort for outreach to let people know that it is there. There are things out online right now of people talking about just outright stealing from these big box stores because they can't afford this. We don't want any of that to happen. We don't want it to come to this. We want our community to know that there are resources out there when they need it the most, especially if it's in one of their most desperate moments. Is that we are letting the township know that we are here to support them, and they are here to support us as well. The outreach to the other communities, we're going to have that. But it takes all of us on this board, not just one, not just two, but you as well, to reach out to your local communities and your other elected officials and any other organizations in this town that might be able to help contribute. So while we are all in this together, Villa Park is taking the necessary steps to make sure that we are protecting our community when they need it the most. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. Trustee Cordova.
So I have 3 questions. I've spent a fair amount of time at the Western Suburban Community Pantry, and when we were there, we would break down the boxes of donations that would come in, and the importance of non-perishables was almost as important as the perishables, as the food. With these 2 pictures, the pictures look scary, right? Because if you're in there and you need diapers, or you need, feminine products, shaving things, so you go get a job, whatever it would be. Just kind of walk us through if you had, or if on the website, if somebody were to say, hey, if it won't be monetary, but I can donate whatever I have or whatever it would be extras, is there a wish list on the website that someone can go and say, here are our top 5 perishables, and here's the top 5 non-perishables. We'll take whatever we can get. And then also a list of things that you guys won't take. I remember mouthwash was a thing that at the community pantry they wouldn't take. We'd have to kind of move that to the side because it has alcohol and it kind of paints. There's a couple things that you can't take. So if a person were looking for more resources, more of a plug opportunity than not, talk about the non-perishables. The second thing is how much reach does a $5,000 how much reach does $5,000 give you, right?
Sure.
As a group, so that we can say, hey, here's $5,000 today. This $5,000 will go X amount of people or families or whatever it would be, so that we can kind of gauge that if it is 5 today, in 30 days, is it 25 that we can help build and whatnot. I just want to give a little bit of numbers and understanding behind some of these numbers, and then as well as just the need for non-perishables in general. So I know there's a little bit tossed, but ask me if I need to reiterate.
I didn't hear a third. I'm sorry.
I did have 3, and the third one just kind of went.
That's all right.
So-
I had to start writing
Like,
things
shoot.
down.
Yeah.
First, let me take your question about the $5,000. And I can only really give you a couple of standards that I look at. One is that I look at protein in that $3 to $4 range that I'm able to procure through strategies with other organizations, and that's what I target in that area. And then I'll give you this kind of standard that I look at. The Northern Illinois Food Bank has a special program that you're able to go there. And again, if you're able to man a truck and you're able to do the distribution and pay the gas and all of that, then your cost of goods go down. I was able to just purchase about 1,800 pounds of product for $28. That's phenomenal.
You got to pick it up.
I had to pick it up. Yeah, I had to physically go there, drive the truck myself, and get it. But I'll tell you, it is just great to be able to do something like that, because that dollar just goes such a long way. And my staff was really excited when they saw a 1,000-pound pallet of beef jerky, because that's very meaningful to somebody that's in need. That protein source is crucial. So from as little as pennies on the pound to that $2 to $4 range is what I look at.
One thing
And
that
then, I just want to answer his first question about perishables, and I think what you accept, what you don't accept.
Yeah, but even more of just like a wish list, if you can have.
So on our website, we do have a wish list. It's Trustee Cordova. It's more than just 5 items on our list. It's probably 15, 20. And on our wish list, and then really, quite frankly, I don't know of any item that we
Right.
don't deny, because even mouthwash, we're able to find somebody that can take it and is not at risk of that
Right.
alcohol.
Yeah, perfect.
Other than, and then just to point out, just a shout out to West Suburban. They were the ones who called me today to give me produce,
Ah, cool. Yeah.
pallets.
Yeah, yeah.
And just to clarify really quick too, the website, yorktownship.com/food pantry needs, you can see it all listed right there. Trustee
I was
Constados.
just going to say, I'm on the website now, and it has current needs such as like paper products, feminine products, soaps, pasta sauces, rice mixes, potato mixes. So there's a whole list on there. I'm glad you said that, but I was Googling as
Thank you.
were speaking. So yeah, the website is very, very helpful in telling you what they're looking for.
Questions?
Yes.
Okay, question.
I'm very glad, well, it's kind of a positive. I'm very glad about the Northern, I volunteer constantly at the Northern Illinois Food Bank, so I go there often, and they do a great service, and that's why I was kind of happy that this was coming here. And I'm glad that you are doing such a good job of taking their services, as a coalition and getting food to the location. That's what they said was some of their biggest problems, getting the food from where they have it over to the location. They get donations in terms of, I think I peeled like 1,000 onions one time. You just peel them and put them in boxes. And so it's a great service that, that you're doing, and keeping it local is good, I think. And it's only that I feel like a 5,000 is a drop in a bucket. It's not all that much. It's not going to really cover our SNAP issue very long. It's going to be a very small drop in the bucket of things, and that's somewhat of an issue to me. And I would have preferred.
Trustee Kumar?
Yeah.
Do you have questions? Because we could get into that in our
Okay.
next topic if you
Okay, so that's it. That's basically, I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions for Supervisor Murray? Okay, Tim, thank you.
One last-
Appreciate it. Yes, go ahead.
Just one quick thing. I did pass this out to the board. Take a look at that. That offers, that details everything that the township does, and it includes other food pantries in it. And this is given out to clients that come in. Okay?
Tim, thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to say thank you, and on behalf of the Village of Villa Park, thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you to the York Township Board for everything that you're doing. You guys are doing a stand-up job. Thank you for assistance, and thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to go ahead and move along to item 7A under new business, a motion to donate $5,000 from the general fund to Friends of York Township, 501c3, to be used in support of the community food pantry benefiting residents of Villa Park. Do I have a motion for that?
I would like
make
to
that
make that motion.
Trustee Alfano, seconded by
I'll second.
I'll second you.
Sabri. You got it. All right, so we have a motion made by Trustee Alfano, seconded by Trustee Sabri. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano.
Yes, I would like to, first of all, thank you for having this special board meeting. I know we've had conversation about this, and I'm sad that we had to have it, but I'm glad that we were ready and prepared to have some discussion here. I know that we were talking about SNAP benefits and about how 12% of Villa Park participate in SNAP benefits, but I'm not sure that that talks about how many of our residents have job insecurity and have already been stretched thin already. And I think we need to take that into consideration. I know that we have religious leaders, and we've talked about, I've talked about this with many people in the community. We have religious leaders in the area that are not only leaders in their faith, but they're also trained and certified to help find some of that assistance. Some are social workers, and they know how to connect people together and to solve problems. And I feel that this is a long-range solution, and it needs to include so many, not just us, not just York Township, although I think that is a really great start. I think that it looks like this is going to be a very long problem that we are going to need to continually solve. And I think that we need to really pay attention to that. With that in mind, I also want to remind us that this is an example of local tax dollars going directly back to our local taxpayers, and that's helping to provide for our basic needs. And I think that that's something that is really relevant to point out. I personally would like to amend the motion from 5,000 to 10,000, knowing that 5,000 doesn't necessarily go far. I think 10,000, especially if we are looking at making a challenge to neighboring communities, I'm not sure if we're looking to have them match or to beat what we are looking to do. I think that that's something that would be appropriate is the right word. $10,000 would be an appropriate step up from what is currently written. And I hope that other people see that as a need as well.
Okay, thank you. So I have a motion to amend your original motion from 5,000 to 10,000. Do I have a second?
To second that.
Okay. Trustee Constados.
And then,
Hold on one second.
do we get to discuss?
Yes, we are ready to discuss. Trustee Constados.
I just wanted to say a couple things. I know people are saying, like, I know Cheryl Tucker made a comment about, where the money's coming from. But if you just take 22,000 divided into, well, we started with 5,000, that's just $4.40 per person in this town. And there's over 22,000, but whatever, I'm just rounding it off. Just think about that. For less than what a Starbucks coffee costs you, you could, we can help out other people in our community that are in desperate need right now. So that, $4.40 per person is nothing compared to what the payout is going to reach. The other thing I was hoping to say was, is there a way that we can also put this pamphlet that they gave us, this information, on our website, so that way our residents are aware of the other resources provided to them by the York Township? That would be great.
Yes.
And I'm all in for the raising to 10,000.
Okay. One of the things that I'll say also regarding the public comment that was made earlier regarding our forensic financial audit is that, yes, the village has identified some serious issues with the mismanagement of our budget. We have identified those. The village did approve a forensic financial audit, and we will be going through with those motions. However, we are a municipality with over an $80 million budget, and if we have trouble finding $10,000 in that budget, we're in worse condition than we thought we were, and we are not there yet. Not even close, not even remotely. So 5,000 or 10,000, either way, is not going to significantly impact the day-to-day business of the village of Villa Park. Trustee Kumar.
Whether the 5 or the 10, I would think that this would be better to leverage against on a dollar-by-dollar basis. I do agree with Trustee Constados that I mean, one thing, this is a drop in the bucket, and at least 5,000 I'd like to leverage on a dollar-by-dollar basis, and then 5,000 maybe straight up, give it to the pantry as we promised, only because if you get people involved and they feel involved in some kind of social cause like this, it kind of materializes a great movement towards feeding more and more people, movement towards getting people the toys they need at Christmas. And it's not the single donation, it's about the movement towards a bigger cause, in my opinion. And we need to make that movement. So if we take 5,000 and say, Villa Park, we want you to match this, and we'll put in the extra 5, give them the 5 now, the extra 5, we'll put in, I today will donate $200. If Villa Park will donate $200, that gets people moving. That gets more money into the food bank. That's how we should be approaching this as a board, not thinking very small, but thinking large, in my opinion. So I think that I'm not against any number necessarily donation, as long as legal counsel is okay with it, because generally, I've heard at least that when we're giving to a 501c3 being a conscious, I've worked with 501c3s when I was on an FTC, and the school board couldn't actually donate to FTC, which was a 501c3, because there were legal and it had to be done through a contract for services. Now, technically, there is a contract for services here. It's the service to the people of Villa Park in terms of the food you provide, right? That exists. It's just, it had to be done in a certain way. But I would love for Villa Park to get involved more in the cause, right? It looks like you've been there, and many people don't know to come there. They don't know they have this resource, and I would love that to be an incentive, like something we can put on the website, a thermometer. You donate $1, I donate $1, so that we get more resources to who needs it.
I would like to take a moment to speak directly to some people in the audience, more particular Lombard Mayor Puccio, Elmhurst Mayor Levin, Oakbrook Terrace Mayor Esposito, Oakbrook Mayor Herman. I'm asking you, as the Village of Villa Park Village President, to help us with this challenge. We need your help. Our communities need your help in this endeavor. Here, sitting at this dais, it looks like we are about to approve anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 of a donation to the York Township Food Pantry, in which your communities also rely on. I'm putting out the challenge to all of you to help us with this. I'm putting out the challenge to match our donation. This is out of necessity to help our residents, to help our communities in these trying times. So, Mayor Puccio, Mayor Levin, Mayor Esposito, and Mayor Herman, I formally challenge you to help us match these donations. And Trustee Kumar, to your point about community and outreach, is that this is exactly what we're going to try to do here. We are going to be the spark that lights the fire. We are going to lead by example. And whether or not these municipalities want to follow our lead or not, that's up to them. But we have a duty up here to protect our residents, and this is what we are going to do. And this is what I stand by. So if you are out there watching, in the hours to come after this meeting, the Village of Villa Park will be putting a lot of information out there on how you can make an impact whether that be a monetary donation, whether that be a food donation, or the manpower that we need, the volunteer hours that we need to help make sure our communities and the families that need it most are fed and secure. Is there any more questions? Okay.
I think we're ready to vote.
With that being said, we have a motion to donate $10,000 by trustee Alfano, seconded by trustee Constados.
The initial motion was by second was by trustee Sabri, I believe. Trustee Sabri, if you seconded her motion to amend, we can just collapse it into one motion.
I'll second it.
So we just need one vote then.
Okay. Clerk Lauken?
Trustee Alfano.
Yes.
Trustee Cordova.
Yes.
Trustee Constados.
Yes.
Trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri.
Trustee
Patrick.
Sabri.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trustee Sabri.
It's not his fault. My name was not on the agenda, so
And
yes.
I will also vote yes in favor of this. Okay, with that being said, that resolution passes, or that motion passes, and before, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Trustee Constados, a second
second it.
by trustee Sabri. Before we adjourn, our next meeting is November 10th, 6 PM, right here for our committee of the whole meeting, 7 PM village board meeting. Is there any discussion for adjourning? Okay, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none, we are adjourned at 8:07 PM. Thank you, everybody.